Hello, Steve Hearts 89. Well, like the rest of the world, I'm still mourning Tina Turner. And I just sort of wanted to talk for a minute about her special relationship with Australia, which probably most Americans aren't aware of. I mean, after she left Ike, I think that was in '76, she had a good 6 years of really struggling in the industry, where Americans pretty much considered her washed up. And she was just sort of relegated to being a cabaret performer, basically. They really didn't let her um, do it. And I sort of noticed there is definitely a difference in how fame works in America versus other countries in Europe and Australia and that. When we love someone, we love them. We support them. We don't forget them. America, fame is like you're only as good as your last sort of hit and you're forgotten in a minute. Very much like that. And Tina, she really, like I said, Americans kind of considered her washed up. And her first solo tour was of Australia. And some of her first success was in Australia. And she had more success in Europe and outside of America than she did in America. She was huge outside of America. She had her couple of big moments in America where she did really well, but she didn't have the same level of continued success in America that she did in Europe and Australia and that. And of course, right after her big sort of hit, Private Dancer, the album, the single, and What's Life Got to Do with It, she came to Australia and made the Mad Max film, Mad Max 3, Beyond Thunderdome. And she had a pretty big impact when she was here. And I mean, the country fell in love with her. And we didn't forget her. And she did come back. I really, really regret one of the regrets of my life actually is not going to see her in concert when she was doing her Wildest Dreams tour in 1997. She came here, but I didn't realize that would be the last time she toured. I think I was a student. I was really young. I don't think I could afford to go to like a big concert or so. And I'd never been to one. I wanted Madonna to be my first concert, and she should have been touring right around that time or just after that time for Ray of Light. And I think it was a combination of wanting Madonna to be my first big concert and not having much money that I didn't see her. But I didn't think for a second that she wouldn't have come back. She, I think, 2 more tours after that, but they didn't come to Australia. But when she did come to Australia, she did everywhere. She went to Launceston and Hobart in Tasmania. No one goes to Tasmania when they tour. I haven't heard of anyone else other than Elton John going to Tasmania. And that really shows some commitment and dedication and love for your fans to go to Tasmania, particularly a black lady, because we have some racism in the country, and Tasmania probably was the worst for it, I think. But that was the other thing. When she did the rugby campaign, Simply the Best, a lot of people don't know that was like the theme song for rugby league, and just became this gigantic thing where she came to the country and did promotions, and they filmed videos. She performed at one of the big games, and there was just such love for her, and it was mutual, and it was just it was just nice because you think of all the bad things, all the racism and that, and then you think here's this black lady from America, and she's becoming like our mascot for like our rugby league, and nobody cared that she was like a black woman over 40 from America. I mean, I think maybe 1 or 2 people did, but we didn't. We just told them to shut up and kept on with the party, and it was great because she was Tina Turner, and she was here, and we loved her, and she loved us, and it was just a great time to be a fan and just to be aware of just the sort of, it was just nice. So yeah, I'm just glad that we had that relationship with Tina, and it was something that we kind of felt like she was one of us somehow. I don't know. She was a strong, ballsy woman, and our women are strong and ballsy. We're not not going to go into other politics in other countries and the way they treat their women, but our women don't take that shit. So it's and Tina didn't take that shit. She left Ike because she was strong, and that's what she showed, and that's what people respected her for. And I was reading some information on her and sort of reminding myself of some things I'd forgotten, and finding out a few things that I didn't know because obviously I wasn't around in the '70s to see her tour. But yeah, she came here and had success here when America had considered her washed up, and she had a big hit in the '80s, and that validated her for them. But until then, they didn't have any respect for her. I don't think it came. She found it, But yeah, fame in America is far more fickle than it is in other countries. And, you know, you can tour Europe and, go away and they don't forget you. They still love you and they wait for you to come back. Whereas in America, you're forgotten. You have to come back and you have to keep having comebacks. They keep saying she was having a comeback tour, a comeback album. She never went away because she never went away for us and for other countries and that. So I just had to talk about that for a minute. And I loved her. I've been watching the videos, the music videos. I've been okay. It wasn't until I watched an interview that I started to tear up, 60 Minutes and that. But it's just, I can't believe she's gone. It's just surreal. It's weird when you don't know people, but you love them. You still are impacted, even though they're not real people in your lives. It's very strange and very sad.